They mocked humanity until our secret vessel emerged from the seventh dimension. From the outside, it looked like a gleaming starflower, with countless spires reflecting the light of nearby suns. Inside, alien species from across the galaxy had gathered. Some were tall and lithe, others squat and armored. Some had translucent skin, revealing glowing organs beneath. All of them were here to witness what was, in their eyes, a spectacle of weakness. Humans were expected to present themselves, yet, as always, only one small delegation had arrived. They were dwarfed by the grandeur of the other species, by the elaborate robes, shimmering wings, and advanced hollow displays that surrounded them. The aliens whispered, laughed quietly, and shook their heads in disbelief. "The humans, they look so small," said an elder of the Vrixi, whose long, whip-like tendrils twitched with amusement. "How can such primitive creatures hope to survive among us?" A chorus of agreement echoed across the council chamber. Screens lit up, showing human colonies. On many of these worlds, humans were still using conventional technology, planets with cities that, by alien standards, were nearly Stone Age in their sophistication. "They have barely conquered their own system," a Severian ambassador scoffed. "And they talk of exploring the stars. They cannot even maintain a fleet larger than a dozen ships without disaster." In a corner of the chamber, the humans observed quietly. Their ambassador, a middle-aged man with sharp eyes and calm posture, remained seated. Unlike the other delegates, he did not fidget, whisper, or react with anger. He knew exactly what he was dealing with. "They are laughing," said one of the young human officers, standing behind the main delegation. His voice was low, almost a whisper, but filled with tension. "They think we are weak, unprepared, ignorant." The ambassador turned his gaze toward the young officer, his eyes glinting. "Let them laugh. They have no idea what lies beyond their senses." At that very moment, the council president, a floating, multi-limbed being with eyes that moved independently of each other, cleared its throat. "Humans," it said in a voice that vibrated through the chamber, "your colonies have grown at a slow pace. Your fleets are small. Your technology is basic. Tell us, how do you expect to survive in a galaxy that is so fast, so advanced?" The council erupted in murmurs of agreement. Screens shifted to live views of human starports. Aliens pointed at the ships and colonies. "Look at them. Look at their ships," one alien exclaimed. "Pathetic. They cannot even perform a jump through real space without risking disaster." The human ambassador did not rise. Instead, he raised a single hand, signaling the officer beside him to remain silent. He spoke calmly, measured, and with quiet authority. "We do not claim to be the fastest nor the most numerous, but survival is not measured by numbers alone. Some strengths cannot be seen, not by the untrained eye." Another laugh rose from the council. "Oh, of course," a Dralion said, its voice like crackling glass. "Hidden strengths, how quaint. Humans, perhaps you should reveal this secret strength of yours, or is it another fairy tale?" The ambassador's lips curved slightly, barely noticeable, but the corner of his mouth betrayed a hint of amusement. "Patience," he whispered under his breath. "They think they understand us. They will learn soon enough." Meanwhile, behind closed panels in the galaxy, the real human fleet remained hidden. A network of secret observation posts transmitted every council debate back to Earth. Scientists monitored alien reactions, while engineers checked the systems of the most classified human vessel ever built. It was called the Sentinel, though only a handful of humans even knew of its name. Unlike any other ship, the Sentinel had the ability to manipulate higher dimensions, specifically the seventh dimension. This allowed it to move in ways no alien technology could detect or understand. To the galaxy, it was invisible. To its crew, it was humanity's trump card. In a small observation room, young Lieutenant Mara adjusted the vessel's systems. "The Council believes they are laughing at us," she said, her fingers flying over the holographic console. They cannot even see the real fleet, let alone the Sentinel. They will be shocked when they realize it exists. Her commanding officer, Captain Elias, leaned over her shoulder. His expression was calm, but his eyes glimmered with anticipation. Shocked is not enough. They will understand that humans cannot be measured by what they see on the surface. Back in the council hall, the aliens continued their ridicule. Screens showed a human planet's cities, each glowing softly beneath domes that protected them from natural disasters. Alien delegates pointed at the ships leaving the planet, which were small, sleek, and simple compared to their own massive armadas. "They move like children playing," said one alien. "Even the smallest mistake could destroy them." But humans in the council did not flinch. Instead, one officer whispered to another, "Let them underestimate us. It will make the lesson even more powerful." Time passed. The council moved on to trade disputes, border conflicts, and interstellar treaties. Yet all the while, the humans remained observers, silent and composed. No one in the council suspected that while they debated, humanity's most advanced technology was already in motion, moving silently through uncharted sectors. In a distant observation post, the Sentinel prepared for a demonstration. Its engines hummed softly, a sound no alien sensor could detect. Crew members ran final checks. Energy fields aligned, dimensional stabilizers engaged, and the ship's hull shimmered faintly, almost as if it was already phasing in and out of normal space. Lieutenant Mara's voice broke the silence. "Captain, all systems are green, ready to phase into the seventh dimension." Captain Elias nodded. "Good, execute on my mark. Remember, no confrontation, no violence. We are here to be seen, not to destroy. The goal is perception. Awe. Respect." As the Sentinel began its phase shift, the stars outside the observation bay bent and shimmered. Light twisted in strange patterns, as if reality itself was being folded. The crew held their breath, eyes wide, hearts racing. In the council hall far across the galaxy, no alien noticed anything unusual yet. Suddenly, a ripple of energy passed through the council chamber. Screens flickered. Some of the smaller, less advanced species noticed briefly, like a shadow moving in the corner of their vision, but they dismissed it as a sensor glitch. None suspected the truth. A human vessel had begun its journey through dimensions no alien had ever understood. In the council hall, the elder Vrixie leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Did you see that?" it asked another. "A flicker, something moving outside the normal parameters." "Oh, nonsense," replied the Severian. "Your senses deceive you. The humans are harmless. Do not let your imagination wander." But for one human officer observing the council remotely, that flicker was everything. "They noticed," she said softly, a smile forming on her lips. "They are beginning to feel it, the first taste of what they cannot comprehend." The ambassador in the council did not flinch, even as the alien chatter continued. Inwardly, he allowed himself a small satisfaction. Humanity had been mocked, belittled, laughed at, and dismissed. But soon the laughter would end. Soon every alien in that chamber would understand that humans were not measured by what they showed on the surface. And somewhere deep in the hidden sectors, the Sentinel continued its silent, invisible journey through dimensions. Its path was perfect, undetectable, beyond comprehension. By the time the aliens realized it existed, it would be too late for them to dismiss humanity again. Captain Elias leaned back in his chair, watching the stars bend and shimmer around the vessel. "They mocked us," he said quietly, "and now they will see. One day they will remember this moment. One day they will understand why humans are never to be underestimated." Lieutenant Mara nodded. "They won't know what hit them, not yet, but soon they will." And in that silence, filled with quiet anticipation and invisible power, the galaxy's laughter continued, unaware that it was the last time humanity would ever be underestimated. Far beyond the glittering halls of the Galactic Council, humanity's real strength waited in silence. Hidden deep within an uncharted sector of space, the secret human space station loomed like a ghost. It was not built to impress. It was built to endure, to observe, and to protect the galaxy's most valuable asset, the Sentinel. The station itself was a labyrinth of interconnected domes and hangars, each glowing faintly with human energy fields. From the outside, it looked like a simple orbital facility, barely noticeable. Yet inside, engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, maintaining technology far beyond any alien imagination. Ships were docked in carefully concealed bays, but the crown jewel remained the Sentinel, humming softly in its own chamber like a slumbering giant. Captain Elias walked through the station, his footsteps echoing faintly against the steel floors. Every human on the station moved with purpose, but there was no rush, no panic. The station's crew had been trained for years in patience, precision, and secrecy. Lieutenant Mara met him in the central chamber, eyes shining with excitement. "Captain, all systems for the Sentinel are online. Dimensional stabilizers are at maximum efficiency, and our stealth protocols are functioning perfectly. We can launch at any moment." Elias nodded, his expression calm, but his mind raced. "Good, but remember, Mara, we do not strike. The purpose of this mission is demonstration. They must see our capability without a fight. Fear is different from respect. Awe is permanent," Mara smiled. "Understood. And they will feel it. Soon, every council member will understand humans in a way they cannot unsee." The Sentinel itself was unlike any vessel known in the galaxy. Its hull shimmered faintly, reflecting light in patterns that no alien eye could fully interpret. Its engines were not conventional. They tapped into higher dimensional currents, allowing the ship to phase between reality and the seventh dimension. When it emerged, it could appear anywhere, instantaneously, without any alien sensor detecting its movement. "This ship is incredible," a young engineer said to Mara, almost in awe. "It's like it doesn't belong in the universe we know, it's untouchable." Mara nodded. "Exactly, and that untouchable power is exactly why the Council underestimates us. They see only our surface. They cannot imagine what lies beneath." Meanwhile, in the Council Hall, alien delegates continued to mock humanity. "Even if they have some secret ship," one said, "it cannot match the fleets of the Severians or the Vrixi. They are outnumbered, outclassed, and overpowered. How can they even hope?" No one could see what was already in motion. The Sentinel had already phased partially into the seventh dimension, moving along an invisible path. Its crew monitored every motion, every fluctuation in the dimensional field, making minor adjustments to ensure the ship remained unseen. Captain Elias stood in front of the main console, hands clasped behind his back. "Mara, status report. Dimensional transition is smooth. We are undetectable. The sensors show no anomalies from the Council or surrounding sectors. They remain unaware of our presence." "Good," Elias replied. "Prepare for demonstration." The crew of the Sentinel had trained for this moment for years. They knew the risks, the precision required, and the subtlety necessary to impress the galaxy without aggression. Even one miscalculation could reveal the technology prematurely, or worse, provoke panic. But they were ready. At the human station, engineers worked on energy projection systems. These systems could manipulate light and gravity around the vessel, creating spectacular effects when viewed from normal space. Humans had learned long ago that power alone did not impress the galaxy. Demonstration, subtle but undeniable, was far more effective. As the final systems came online, Captain Elias walked to the observation window. Outside, the stars glimmered normally, but they were about to witness something that would forever change perception. "Stand by," he said calmly. "This is the moment." The Sentinel's engines glowed, first softly, then with increasing brilliance. Energy rippled across the vessel's hull, bending light in unusual ways. The crew felt the slight pressure change as the ship began to phase into the seventh dimension, slipping in and out of reality like a ghost. Inside the observation room, Lieutenant Mara adjusted the visual interface. "They cannot see us," she said, almost with a sense of wonder. "No sensors detect us, no instruments can track us, it's perfect." "Good," Elias replied. "Remember, this is not for fear, this is for awe. They must understand human ingenuity, not human brutality." While the Sentinel moved in secret, humans on the station began another operation. Smaller stealth ships, also hidden, left the station to create subtle disturbances across trade routes. Ships vanished for a moment, only to reappear elsewhere, leaving alien observers confused. Reports of phantom vessels started spreading across minor sectors, but the Council remained unaware. In one alien sector, a Vrixi scout reported, "Ships, they are disappearing and appearing elsewhere, impossible. Sensors cannot track them. Something is wrong," the Severian fleet commander laughed nervously. "It's a coincidence, nothing more. Humans cannot be advanced enough for this." But human intelligence had already prepared for the unexpected. Every movement was calculated, every anomaly controlled. Aliens were being drawn into a pattern without realizing it, observing the invisible hand of humanity shaping perception across the stars. Back on the station, Captain Elias addressed the crew of the Sentinel. "Remember, no engagement, no attacks. Our message is this: humans are not to be underestimated. Let them see what we can do without violence. They will respect intelligence and strategy, not force." The crew nodded, each member understanding the weight of their mission. They had trained for years to remain calm, precise, and disciplined. One small mistake could ruin everything. Then, with a smooth shift, the Sentinel phased fully into the seventh dimension. From outside, the stars appeared to ripple, but no alien sensors could detect the vessel. It moved through space like a shadow, invisible, untouchable, unstoppable. Lieutenant Mara watched closely. "We are approaching the first demonstration point near the Council. All systems stable. They will not see us until we choose." Elias nodded. "Good. Prepare to project the effects. Subtle, awe-inspiring, not frightening. Let them understand our capability without conflict." The vessel's energy projection systems activated. Light warped around the Sentinel, bending and refracting in impossible patterns. Stars appeared to shimmer and dance unnaturally. Gravity around the vessel shifted slightly, creating illusions of movement and scale that no alien mind could comprehend. Meanwhile, in the council hall, minor flickers appeared on sensors. A few species noticed something strange: stars blinking, signals misaligned, faint distortions in space. The elder Vrixi spoke again. "Do you see? Something unnatural is occurring. Something moves where it should not." The Severian commander waved the warning off. "Sensors are faulty. Humans are weak. There is no threat." Yet the humans observing remotely knew better. They saw the council reacting in subtle panic. Aliens whispered to each other, their eyes narrowing in confusion. None could detect the Sentinel, yet all were feeling its presence. Captain Elias allowed a faint smile. "They feel it. They cannot explain it. They are beginning to understand what humans are capable of." Lieutenant Mara adjusted the energy patterns, increasing the visual effect. "Look, Captain, the Council is noticing subtle shifts everywhere. Their fleets are being watched, their trade routes confused. They still do not know what we are." Elias nodded. "Good, that is enough for now. Maintain stealth. Let them wonder. Curiosity is a powerful tool." As the Sentinel phased back partially into normal space, small anomalies continued to ripple across the galaxy. Minor fleets reported disappearing vessels, unexplainable light distortions, and subtle gravitational shifts. The Council remained clueless, laughing and dismissing reports as coincidences or sensor errors. But one thing was certain: the humans were no longer the species they had mocked. Each alien delegate, without realizing it, had glimpsed a fraction of human capability. And that fraction was enough to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and respect. Captain Elias turned to Mara. "Remember this moment. Every alien in the galaxy is now thinking, what if humans are more than they seem?" Mara nodded. "They will be shocked when they discover the full truth. When they finally see the Sentinel, they will understand that humans are a force to be reckoned with." Outside the observation window, the stars shimmered, distorted by the invisible presence of the Sentinel. Humanity's hidden power had begun to ripple across the galaxy, unnoticed but undeniable. One day the aliens would see it. One day they would understand. But for now the humans waited, patient and calm, as the galaxy remained unaware of the storm quietly building in the seventh dimension. And somewhere deep in hidden sectors, the Sentinel continued its silent patrol, moving unseen, untouchable, unstoppable. Humanity's secret arsenal was awake, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. Across the galaxy, whispers of impossible events began to spread. Alien fleets reported vessels vanishing from one sector, only to appear in another. Trade convoys found that their routes were subtly disrupted, as if an invisible hand was guiding chaos. Communication relays occasionally glitched, showing brief flashes of something unidentifiable, just enough to ignite curiosity and fear. At first, the incidents were dismissed as technical errors. Sensors were flawed, jumps through hyperspace occasionally miscalculated. But the reports kept coming, piling up faster than anyone could ignore. Every observer, from low-ranking officers to fleet commanders, began to feel a sense of unease. Something, or someone, was moving through the galaxy undetected, manipulating events in ways that defied logic. In the council hall, the elder Vrixie squinted at a holographic display showing the latest anomaly. "This is impossible," it muttered. "Ships are disappearing from one quadrant, reappearing in another with no trace of travel, no propulsion signatures, no energy readings." "Nothing. Humans," the Severian commander said dismissively, though the tension in its voice betrayed doubt. "It must be some fluke. Sensors are failing, it cannot be them. They are inferior, weak, primitive." But not all aliens were so confident. A small group of intelligence officers whispered among themselves, scanning data and piecing together patterns. "Look at this," one said, pointing to a map of the galaxy. "These disappearances are not random. They follow a path, deliberate, precise, but invisible." Another shook its head. "If it is humans, then we have been blind. They have something we cannot even detect, something beyond our technology." Meanwhile, in a hidden sector far from prying eyes, the Sentinel moved silently. Its hull shimmered faintly, reflecting starlight in patterns too complex for any alien sensor to interpret. Every crew member aboard understood the significance of their mission. They were not attacking. They were observing, testing, and demonstrating humanity's capability without confrontation. Captain Elias stood on the bridge, watching the stars ripple with the subtle distortions caused by their phase into the seventh dimension. "They are noticing anomalies," he said quietly. "Every fleet, every convoy, they feel it. And yet they do not understand. That is exactly where we want them." Lieutenant Mara smiled. "They are chasing ghosts. Every report will be dismissed, questioned, debated. But the pattern is undeniable. They will start to wonder, and that is when curiosity turns to respect." The Sentinel executed a series of maneuvers that would have seemed impossible to any alien fleet. In normal space, it appeared to vanish and reappear across multiple sectors in minutes. Trade routes that had been predictable for centuries now seemed erratic. Observers could not explain it. Back in the council, panic was beginning to ripple under the surface of the usual arrogance. Delegates whispered urgently, exchanging theories. "Could it be humans?" asked a young Vrixie officer, her tendrils quivering. "We have dismissed them for so long, but maybe they are not as weak as we believed," the elder Vrixie hissed. Do not entertain such thoughts. It is impossible. They cannot move fleets like this. They cannot manipulate space and time. Humans are small, insignificant. That is the truth. But truth and perception were no longer aligned. Every fleet commander, every trade convoy, every minor station had begun to witness phenomena that defied understanding. Ships disappeared without warning, energy readings fluctuated in impossible ways, and for fleeting moments, the very stars seemed to bend around something unseen. On a distant research station, a group of alien scientists gathered, frantic to explain the events. "It is beyond our physics," one said. "No known technology can phase matter through dimensions without energy loss. No known propulsion system can achieve these transitions. And yet, another interrupted, something is doing it, something deliberate." The human observers monitoring the council from hidden stations remained calm. Every anomaly, every rumor, every report was part of a carefully constructed pattern. The aliens were being introduced to the reality that humans were far beyond what appearances suggested. Lieutenant Mara adjusted the Sentinel's energy projection systems. "Captain, anomalies are being reported across 5 sectors now. Communication logs show that alien fleets are discussing impossible events openly. Some are starting to question their assumptions about humans." Elias nodded. "Good, that is exactly what we want. Let them chase shadows. Let them debate. Let them fear what they cannot see. Humans are not measured by what they show, but by what we can do when no one is looking." In the council, an unexpected message appeared on a holographic screen. A minor fleet commander in a remote sector was sending urgent reports about disappearing ships. The council president, floating in the center of the chamber, raised multiple limbs. "This is unacceptable. How can our fleets vanish without warning? Sensors confirm nothing. Energy readings are normal, and yet ships disappear as if they never existed." The Severian ambassador muttered almost to himself, "Could it be the humans?" The room fell silent. Every delegate turned to him, some in shock, some in outrage. "Do not speak such words," hissed the elder Vrixi. "It is impossible. They are weak. They are children of the stars. We cannot be defeated by children." But doubt had been planted, and doubt is the beginning of fear. Meanwhile, the Sentinel continued its silent patrol. It moved along carefully calculated paths, phasing between dimensions, creating small, controlled disturbances. Each movement was deliberate. No harm was caused, no lives endangered, yet the ripple effect was undeniable. Every fleet, every convoy, every alien outpost began to sense something invisible but powerful. On the bridge, Elias spoke to his crew. "Observe carefully. This is not about conquest. This is about perception. Every report, every anomaly, every vanished ship, humans are shaping reality without anyone knowing it. That is true power." Lieutenant Mara nodded. "They cannot see us. They cannot touch us. And yet, every report they make increases our presence in their minds. They will begin to fear the unseen, respect the unknown, and eventually understand humans are more than they think." Back in the council, whispers turned to arguments. "We must find the source," said the council president. "Send fleets to search every sector, every system. Find these phantom vessels and stop them." "Impossible," said the Vrixi elder, shaking its head. "Sensors cannot detect them. It is as if they do not exist. Perhaps we have been wrong about humans all along." The Severian ambassador's confidence faltered. They cannot have such technology. It defies physics. And yet, indeed, humans had already achieved the impossible. The Sentinel's movements, invisible, untouchable, precise, were a silent message to the galaxy. Do not underestimate humanity. As the hours passed, more anomalies appeared. Trade routes were subtly altered. Minor fleets reported unexplained movements, and communication systems showed brief, unexplainable glitches. Aliens began to suspect a pattern, but no one could trace it to its source. Every attempt ended in confusion. The human observers watched, patient and calm. Every whisper of doubt among the aliens, every moment of confusion, was part of a carefully orchestrated strategy. No force was used, no weapon fired. Yet the impact was undeniable. The galaxy was beginning to realize, in ways they could not yet articulate, that humans were not what they appeared. Captain Elias turned to Lieutenant Mara. "They are talking about us now. Whispers, debates, panic. Exactly what we wanted. Let them continue. Curiosity is more powerful than aggression. Let them wonder, and eventually they will respect what they cannot see." Mara nodded, eyes wide as she observed the data. "They're chasing shadows, Captain, and every shadow we leave behind increases the legend of humans." And so the Sentinel moved, unseen but present, shaping perception and instilling awe across the galaxy. Every alien fleet, every council member, every trade convoy began to whisper the same thing in hushed tones. "Where are the humans?" In the hidden sectors, the crew of the Sentinel allowed themselves brief smiles. They were not conquerors. They were observers, strategists, and messengers of a truth the galaxy had yet to fully understand. Humans were far more capable than anyone had imagined. And somewhere, deep in uncharted space, the first seeds of fear, respect, and curiosity took root among the galaxy's most advanced species. Humanity had not yet revealed its full strength, but the legend had begun. The Sentinel glimmered faintly in the seventh dimension, moving silently and invisibly, its presence felt but never seen. And in that silence, the galaxy began to change, forever marked by the subtle, undeniable power of humans.